All right, welcome into the Christian Men's Illustrated podcast. We are back. We had an epic failure last week. We recorded a whole show, and then what happened to it? I don't know. It's the government, man.
Yeah,
it's the government. It was the internet and whatever it might be. So anyway, there you go. We had a great show. I felt like in the books there.
It was good.
In Such Is Life. So thank you for joining the conversation. Christian Men's Illustrated. We just talk about stuff guys love, and most importantly, Jesus. But something very, very epic happened last week, which maybe could be what happened.
Yeah,
we had a very special message from a special friend of Greg Walden, President Joe Biden. Let's play that again. Here we go.
Greg Walden, you are the best podcaster I know. You are way better than Jake and Jeremiah.
Oh, man.
So a little shout out from President Joe Biden to Greg Walden. I knew he was a closet Dem. Remember I said there's stuff about him we don't really know?
Oh, no.
He's a Dem.
No, never insult me like that. No, never insult me like that.
Like,
he's
call
working.
Me anything but that.
He's someday, like me at the church, officers are going to come, or CIA people, and it's going to be all this information Greg Walden gave him.
Well, they offered me a Butterfinger. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Greg Walden, you are the best podcaster I know. You are way better than Jake and Jeremiah.
Why would he say that, Greg Walden? Why? But then, in our defense, Donald Trump came rushing to our side. I don't have that audio.
Well, he probably doesn't even remember calling in.
Yeah.
He probably doesn't.
There we go. And oh man, we're going to get to some of the political stuff here in just a second. It is heating up. Okay, so I forgot. I put this one in the books for a few weeks, and this was going to be a shout out to Greg Walden. But I have this book called The Worst of Everything. So this is like if you go to Barnes & Noble to the clearance racks, they have these books I don't know. I don't even know what you want to technically genre or term them would be, but they're like super cheap books. And this is like the worst of everything. So it's just like a book of the worst of everything. And so there's a few, I just breezed through the whole book in like one night, because it's just like a list is all it is. I'm just flipping through it. But the first one that caught my attention, so the worst wacky sidekicks in popular movie franchises. This one goes to Greg Walden. Number 10, Jar Jar Binks. Number 9, Jar Jar Binks. Number 8, Jar Jar Binks. Number 7, Jar Jar Binks. Number 6, Jar Jar Binks. Number 5, Jar Jar Binks. Number 4, Jar Jar Binks. Number 3, Jar Jar Binks. Number 2, Jar Jar Binks. Number 1, Jar Jar Binks. I thought you'd agree with that one.
Me's a lax of that.
worst sidekicks in history. Yeah. So, and there's some really weird ones. This is not a Christian book, but the most expensive destinations in the world, the worst places to go to. So number 1, Switzerland. Number 2, United Kingdom, the UK, which I've been there before, just horribly expensive. Have you guys been to the UK? Like it's specifically London. I've been there. Like, don't ever want to go again. Like that's one of those places. Went to Buckingham Palace, went to the big clock, Big Ben's, right? Big Ben's clock or whatever. Yeah. I didn't enjoy it. I didn't see the, maybe if I would have met Mr. Bean, I would have been more excited or something like that, but I didn't enjoy it. The food that I did eat was very unusual, like not good. So, yeah. So, 3 Barbados, 4 Israel, 5 Iceland, 6 Norway, 7 Senegal, 8 Denmark, 9 Australia, and 10 Peru. So those are like the worst or most expensive places in the world.
Most expensive.
I want to go to Israel bad.
Yeah. 10 worst cities for bed bugs. You've gotten the bed bugs before.
Detroit.
All right. Let's see if they make the list. Number 1, Baltimore. 2, Washington, D.C. 3, Chicago. 4, Los Angeles. 5, Columbus, Ohio. 6, Cincinnati. 7, Detroit.
Yeah, it's on there.
8, New York. 9, San Francisco. 10, Dallas.
That's where I got mine at. And it was at a Marriott.
Oh, my goodness.
It was like a Marriott apartment one. It was a really nice hotel, and that's where I picked my little.
Have you had the bed bugs before?
No.
I'm scared of them though. That's
I am too. Everywhere we go, we're checking it.
Right at a hotel. I'm putting on the list with like Parasite when I go on a mission trip. Bed bugs, Parasite.
Mm-hmm. Well, the actual the bed bug is actually harmless, but they itch like crazy.
How do you know? You just start itching?
You'll wake up about 1 in the morning. You're like, for about several hours you can't stop itching.
Really?
And I thought it was poison ivy or something. I was like, what did I get into? Then I woke up because that's after I went to for a work trip to Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
And I woke up in the middle of the night and I saw something crawling across the recliner.
Oh, you actually saw it?
Yeah, it was a bed bug. I'm like, you son of a gun.
Damn.
Wow.
And and to get rid of bed bugs is extremely hard.
Wow.
I'm just saying, it took 3 treatments. And each time you do a treatment, you got to take all the bedding, everything that you can put in the washing, draperies, your bedding. You got to get rid of furniture.
Wow.
All that crap. And it took 3 treatments to get rid of the suckers.
Dang.
And that was just, and there was a report of one guy in Colorado. He had them so bad he had to spend like $10,000.
Yeah.
His whole house was so infested with them.
Wow.
And they breed like crazy, man.
Yeah. Just overtook.
But you can get them at like movie theaters,
Yeah.
hotels.
Anywhere.
Yeah, anywhere. But yeah.
Now I'm tripped out about the movies.
I know.
Oh,
but
man.
it's scary.
Yeah.
And when I first moved to Carthage, the guy rented our duplex was before my house was built was like, just if there's ever bed bugs or just, I was like, what?
Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Well, the secret is when I learned is whenever I go to a motel, you don't take none of your stuff and you go right to the room, pull up the headboard because generally they're going to they hang around your head, and they'll go. You pull up the you go all the way down to the mattress.
Yep.
And if you see any like rust stains around there, that's
like the seams and stuff, right?
Yeah, that's basically bed bug poop.
Okay.
Looks like rust.
Yep.
So if you see that, you just go to another hotel. Don't ask for another room. Go to another hotel.
Gotcha.
There you go.
Yep.
I don't know how we got in and then the best part of the story is when you were you said the best part of your story I vividly remember is you were getting rid of like a recliner and some couches.
You had a nice recliner.
You had a nice recliner and you set it out on the curb and it had bed bugs in it. And the guy just comes and takes it and you're just driving away and you're like, bro, you don't want that.
Yeah, I remember that. Because the guy's like, I tried to stop him, but he just kept going. I'm like, well, I guess he'll be calling me here in a
guy just stole your bed bug.
I was like, well, thank you, man. You just
recliner.
That's why I would never get a mattress off a marketplace.
Oh, man. All right. So let's get into it. I think it's always good for us as we're in the thick of it here to do scores and standings from not only the NFL, but from college football. What do you guys want to start off with? A little bit of NFL action here since you were all hyped about your Seahawks. Mm-hmm. Let's whip through it here. We are in what week we're in? We're week 7 now of the NFL. Broncos get a big win over the Saints, 33-10. Mm-hmm. Sean Payton going back into New Orleans.
Yep.
Where he coached.
Saints are having a hard time here lately.
They're 2-5, beginning to fade. Probably this didn't seem possible 5 years ago, but now the Patriots, New England Patriots, the worst team, arguably the worst team in the NFL.
Yep.
32-16, they get beat by the Jaguars. That's bad when you get crushed.
Oh no, they did.
Yes.
Wow. That is bad. That's bad.
Bright spot is
or actually the Panthers. I would have thought the
May, their rookie quarterback looks promising, but you got to protect him. Seattle Seahawks, they get the dub 34-14 over the Falcons.
Yep, over Kirko Chains.
What do you say? What you say on that one there? What did you like about that game?
I didn't think they were going to be able to get it. I thought for sure that the Falcons were going to just take them over. Yep. But there was some really cool plays that got made, and Geno actually showed.
DJ Metcalf, 4 receptions.
Yep.
99 yards, 1 TD. So he was looking good there, looking stout. The Bills get a 34-10 win over the Titans. Titans at the bottom of the barrel. They're 1-5, so not a big deal there. The Bengals get a win 21-14 over the Browns, 1-6. And the prayers, this is sad, but prayers were answered. Deshaun Watson, who they gave $250 million guaranteed to. We're hoping and praying that he would get hurt. He goes down with the Achilles injury in this game. Prayers are answered. The crowd is like excited about it. I mean, it's as horrible as a person that he is from what I've read in articles. He had the whole with all these women massage thing going on. It's hard to see a guy like go down with Achilles. He's probably done. His career is probably literally done because they're going to cut him. Because he's going to be gone a year or two, and then no one wants him. So goodbye, Deshaun Watson.
I wouldn't pray that somebody gets hurt, though, man.
I didn't pray it, but I'm sure they did. I'm sure there were Browns praying it. There are football fans that psycho. The Packers 24-22 over the Texans. That was a hard-fought game there. Both those teams now 5-2. The Colts beat the Dolphins 16-10. The Dolphins, they are reeling now 2-4.
Okay, I think Tua might be coming back. I think he's at least going to be on the practice squad. So
I did read that, and that will be helpful.
Yep. Everybody talked down on Tua, but really when you look at him being absent, they just haven't done anything. So
I still think Tyreek Hill probably wish he would have stayed with Kansas City.
Absolutely. He didn't get on the board in terms of the stat board there very much. The big game of the week was the Lions get the win over the Vikings, 31-29. My Vikings finally lose, but I wasn't. My son was like, Dad, are you mad about it? I'm like, I'm not really mad. They're 5-1. Right. They're still above expectations. And they hung with them. It's not like they got trounced. You know what I mean? One thing.
It was a field goal.
right. If it was 40-7, you're like, okay, they're not
They were in
legit.
Dallas. I mean,
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. So that's going to continue to be the battle in that particular division. The Eagles 28-3 over the Giants, not a big deal there. Rams 20-15 over the Raiders. The Raiders, I'd put them in the bottom of the barrel as well. Commanders, surprise team in the NFL, get a 40-7 win over the Panthers. I'll be at the Panthers. They do get the win, and they're looking great. And then the Chiefs 28-10. They are the only undefeated team in the NFL.
28-18.
28-18. I apologize. 6-0, 3-0 away. What? I mean,
They got good
Mahomes
defense.
is running over people.
Yeah, that was a nice hit at the end zone. He just popcorned that dude.
Yeah. But, the Chiefs are so weird. They don't look that amazing. But they're 6-0.
And they're out. A lot of they're pretty much out of their all-star receivers. They still got Sammy Watkins. Or no, not Sammy Watkins, but Hartman. Nicole Hartman. He's still there, but I mean they're like down 2 or 3 good receivers.
They're gonna have to call Terrell Owens.
Yeah,
Get Terrell back in the game. Maybe Dion. Maybe Dion's got some reps in him.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Jerry Rice.
Jerry Rice,
So,
yeah.
Jets and Steelers, and Aaron Rodgers is probably he's getting buried this morning because the Steelers beat them 37-15.
See, they brought Russ out.
Yeah, Russ is back. He looks like old Russ, and people are all excited about that. But the big thing was Aaron Rodgers, because Aaron Rodgers is a baby. He's a whiner. He's, manipulated things to get the coach fired, to get his way, and he just keeps looking worse and worse and worse.
Yeah.
So,
Well, he's with the Jets, man.
the Jets they're a cursed team, man. They're like with the Browns kind of.
Well, we all know there's certain teams that good players go to retire in. You had the Cardinals and the Jets and some other few teams, but that's basically kind of like the called the sundown of their career.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. So NFL standings then. So we got the AFC. Let's go to the AFC. They have the Buffalo Bills. We won't have to worry about the bottom, but Buffalo Bills 5-2 on top. I think there's no competition there. They're going to win that. AFC North, Pittsburgh Steelers and the Baltimore Ravens. Their Ravens are playing tonight. So Pittsburgh 5-2, Baltimore 4-2. I think those are going to be the two competing teams. Bengals, they're going to have to go on a run. Cleveland, no chance. All right, AFC South, Houston Texans 5-2. Indianapolis Colts are in the mix. I still think the Texans will handle that particular division. Jaguars, Titans, no chance. Then we get to the AFC West. Kansas City Chiefs, 6-0. Next on the board, Los Angeles Chargers, Broncos, Raiders. I don't know. I don't think any of those teams are going to be formidable. So I think KC's looking okay.
Yep.
So get that number 1 seed, get home field advantage.
Yep.
3-peat, baby.
Try and get that 3-peat. So, and here's where I'm at. What do you guys think about this? I am not in favor of going for an undefeated season. I don't think that's a good goal. Get a loss, 1, 2.
Yep.
Get that out of your system. Yep. We don't need to go undefeated. It's only happened one time.
Yep.
And Brady tried it, and they put all that effort. See, I compare again. I'm an NBA guy, so I compare it when the Golden State Warriors, they were on the verge of beating the Chicago Bulls win record of 71, 72.
Okay.
And they knew it was in their grasp, and they pushed for it, and it burned them out, and then they end up getting beat in the finals.
Yeah.
Same thing with Brady. Brady with Randy Moss. Remember that Randy Moss team?
Yeah.
They go undefeated. They lose to the Giants.
Well, yeah, I would go once I secure the number 1 seed, hopefully it's soon enough, then I would just put my backups in. I would just like.
But then there's the fine line of not too much rest. You don't want to rest too much.
Right. You want to bounce. You still want to play them, just give them some reps every week, but you don't play them all game, because once you get the number 1 seed, your rest of the games are just poop. You don't really need a
management, and they can do it. They're smart. They got the ownership, management, coaching. I think it's looking good. So, all right, NFC, we have in the NFC East, Washington Commanders 5-2, Philadelphia 4-2. So they will battle that out, and then the Cowboys will just be the Cowboys, and the Giants will be the Giants. And this is the division right here, NFC North, Detroit Lions and Minnesota Vikings 5-1. And then you got the Green Bay Packers right behind them at 5-2.
It's tough.
And the Bears at 4-2.
So that's the division right there.
Dog fight right there. We're going to see.
I think Lions.
Lions? Yeah.
Yep.
I have to be honest and say I think the Lions will ultimately grab that division. I do think my Vikings will get a playoff spot. They'll get in there. But anyway.
I like the Vikings. I think I could really see the Lions going to the Super Bowl.
Yep. Absolutely. So NFC South, Tampa Bay Buccaneers on top. Well, I'm anti Baker Mayfield guy.
Yeah.
I don't like him, but they're on top. 4-2. Falcons 4-3. Excuse me. Saints Panthers. Don't have to worry about those guys. NFC West, Seattle Seahawks. They're on top of the division because guess what? San Francisco. Everyone's getting hurt, falling. MCLs, ACLs, meniscuses,
and Chiefs beating them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the Arizona Cardinals, Rams. So, yeah, you guys got any other hot takes on the NFL? I mean, it just coming out of the weekend for me, it was just like really the top stories for me were Chiefs sitting on top of the mountain.
Well, I think
Aaron Rodgers, you're horrible. Russell Wilson.
I think the funniest thing I've seen come out of the week was, back when Mahomes popcorned that dude, San Francisco dude in the end zone. And there was like this, they were showing this guy's like this defender, I can't remember what his name is, but he's like really muscular and stuff. Of course, Mahomes has a dad bod. And
he's proud of it.
Yeah. So what they were saying is muscles cannot compete against the extra Whataburger.
Oh.
Yeah. You got in the NFL though, you got to have that little meat on. You got to have some meat on the bones in the NFL because you're getting popped here and there. So don't be Slim Jim all ripped and cut when you're in the NFL. So, unless you're a receiver.
Whataburger beats muscle any day, man. Look at the fridge, man.
We haven't ate at the Whataburger in Missouri since it's been here together yet.
Well,
it's pretty good.
Once, but
their fries aren't that good.
But you remember the fridge back in the day. You remember the
Refrigerator Perry? Chicago Bears?
400-pound dude. He was guaranteed you give him if he had 4th and 1 or 1st and goal at the 1 yard line. Ain't nobody gonna stop that dude. Once that mask gets a chewing, ain't nobody stopping it, man. That's just Newton's law right there, man.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's look at NCAA football. I have loved this year of college football. It has been a great year of college football, and I've loved college football more than NFL this year. So Oregon gets the win 35-0 over Purdue. BYU gets the win over Oklahoma State 38-35. I'm just doing top 25 only. Texas gets trounced by Georgia 30-15.
Yep.
So they found out what it's like to be in the SEC. Like this is what the SEC is, and so wake up call. I'm telling you guys, SEC is like borderline NFL football.
Yeah.
Those guys. Legit. Miami 52-45 over Louisville. So if you're number 6 team in the country and you only beat Louisville, who's 4-3, 52-45, if they go up against an SEC team, they are getting waxed because that's just not acceptable. So Alabama loses to Tennessee 24-17.
Nice.
And we'll get to the standings in a second, but this is the first time they said Alabama's dropped out of the top 10 in like 10 years or something like that. So
nice.
Really
slipping. LSU gets the win over Arkansas 34-10. And I've never been an Arkansas fan, but living close to Arkansas, I follow them a little bit more now.
Yep.
They're a solid team. They are always solid, a solid out. I know it's 34-10, but a good team since I've lived here in the last 6 years. Iowa State gets a win 38-35 over UCF. Clemson 48-31 over Virginia. Notre Dame 31-13 over Georgia Tech. Texas A&M 34-24. Nebraska Cornhuskers. Guess what happened, guys?
What?
They played Indiana, number 16 in the country. Nebraska's looking like they're a team on the rise. Nope, they get beat 56-7.
Dang. That's a rough
So
one.
Indiana looking stout, 7-0, 4-0 in the Big Ten. But Nebraska, oh, man, they fell down the ladder on that one. So Kansas State, 45-18 over West Virginia. Missouri, 21-17 over Auburn. That's a big win. I know Auburn's 2-5, 0-4 in the SEC. They're not looking like national champions, but you'll take a win like that.
It's still a dub.
You'll take a win over
I watched
SEC.
in the third quarter. They were beating Missouri pretty by 10, at least 10 in the third quarter. So I thought Missouri was going to lose that one, but they actually came back. Just came back and got him.
6-1, 2-1 in the SEC. SMU, ranked number 21, 40-10 over Stanford. Michigan gets beat by Illinois, 21-7. A couple more games. Army, and everyone making a big deal about this. Army and Navy are in the top 25. Army beats East Carolina 45-28.
Go Army.
Navy wins 51-17 over Charlotte. So there you go. That's the top 25. Now, this is interesting because now if you go on to ESPN.com, they are now showing, you can check out the graphic. They've now moved, after they get this far in the season, they go from top 25, which they still do, but now they have the percentages of the playoff predictor, which I think is interesting. So right now, according to their playoff predictor, here's the top teams, because remember, it's going to a 12-team playoff format this year.
Okay.
So 87% Georgia, Oregon, Miami, Ohio State, Texas, Penn State. Those are the top 6 that would get in. Then the next 6 would be Tennessee, Indiana, Notre Dame, Iowa State, Boise State, Alabama. On the outside, just barely right now, according to their predictor, is BYU, Clemson, LSU, Kansas State, Texas A&M, and SMU. And then rounds it out with Army, Ole Miss, UNLV, Missouri, Washington State, and Pittsburgh. So no real big surprises there outside of maybe Boise State in the top 12 there. You guys have any hot takes on what I just read there, their playoff predictor?
Yeah. Interesting. I've been, this is the first year I've watched college football, so I'm learning a lot.
Okay. Awesome. Well, now we'll somehow digress to politics now and get into it. We're less than 3 weeks away from the presidential election.
Yep.
We predicted, a few weeks ago, I think we were in unison in predicting Trump. But man, I tell you, the last couple weeks to me, it looked like Kamala was starting to gain a little bit of momentum. But now this last week, it's like Trump's moving into a commanding lead. And I just want to say, I know like podcasters like us, Rogan is leading the way. It is truly sad just in general to read the news or to try to find news stories. For example, did you guys hear this story? Elon Musk is giving $1 million a day. He's doing a $1 million a day giveaway to battleground voters. Did you hear this? Okay, I'm going to read it from Fox because the other liberal Dem Greg Walden article people were
Don't insult me.
Tech billionaire Elon Musk is making waves on Pennsylvania campaign trail in support for former Donald Trump's reelection. Remember, he had a dark MAGA hat, and he showed his navel at a Pennsylvania campaign, according to Washington Post or whatever it was. Trump's reelection, including offering $1 million a day to swing state voters who sign his political action committee's petition backing the Constitution. Every day from now through November 5th at America PAC, we'll be giving away $1 million to someone in swing states. We better move. We're not in a swing state in Missouri, who signed our petition to support free speech and the right to bear arms. We want to make sure that everyone in swing states hears about this, and I suspect this will ensure they do. Musk, the wealthiest individual in the U.S., posted to X early Sunday morning. The night prior, Musk granted a $1 million sum to a Pennsylvania man named John Dreer during an event in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Wow. So what do you guys think about this? So all the liberals, the Dems are like, this is illegal. He can't be given away. So Trump starts a PAC, right? Because rich people can only give so much money, right? They can only give what is it? I'd have to look it up. 10,000, 50,000. It's not for billionaires, it's not very much. Okay. So they're limited in their individual giving. So then what do? They start PACs or these super PACs. So then they can just dump loads of money in that. And then those PACs begin to work on behalf of said candidate, Republican Party. Both of them have it. Dems have it. Republicans have it. They have PACs and super PACs. So this is a PAC created by Elon.
Okay.
In support of Trump. And now he's giving $1 million away. So I'm just saying.
Very interesting.
Yeah, it is very interesting. I don't really have a hot take on it outside of I was just trying to find what is he doing. And when I searched that article, all I got was garbage. This is wrong. This is horrible. Elon's bad. I had to filter through a billion articles. I don't care what you think.
Yeah.
Or your opinion right now. I'm just tell me what he's doing.
Exactly.
Right. And that's the problem with news now. It's okay, I know if I want on, it used to be there was an opinion page in the newspaper. So the other articles are supposed to be giving us information.
Well, now the whole
entire
newspaper is an opinion page.
It's an opinion page.
Yep.
So it makes me mad. So that's what I hate, because I'm on this podcast, I legitimately look up articles, we're not just trying to ramble, just give people some actual information. So Elon is giving $1 million away. If you'll register under this, go check it out on X and formerly Twitter. So there you go.
Yeah.
not good for us because we're not in a swing state. So but we have here in Missouri, the big one for us is the no on 3.
Yep.
So it's the women's rights and abortion and all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah,
I am a definitive pro-life guy. I believe that life starts at conception. And so we are, as followers of Jesus, I would hope that we're voting down, saying no to 3.
Definitely go read the bill and see what's actually in it. Don't believe what's on the TV set.
And
that's a big thing for people to actually research what's in these.
Yeah. Because if you, on both sides, Dems and Republicans, if you can't watch commercials, man, and make decisions on this stuff.
Well, dude, there's one on YouTube. I was telling you about lunch. There's this, of course, you obviously know they're actors, but they had this guy and this woman had to look like she was in her late 60s.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, my wife couldn't get help because of Missouri's ban. She couldn't get, I mean, wait a minute. This chick couldn't have a baby for almost 20 years.
Right.
I mean, there's no way this chick got denied an abortion. She can't even get pregnant.
Right.
I mean, goodness gracious, man. If you're going to lie, at least try to make it somewhat believable.
Yeah.
But these people are just actors, man. But like, yeah, I was like, that's horrible.
Yep. And they're just grabbing, again, Dems, Republicans. Again, I'm a conservative, unashamed conservative person. I'm a born again Christian. I believe in the Bible, all these kind of things. But they're both just clip grabbing, right?
Yep.
So they're just clip grabbing, make a commercial. You got to read the bill. You got to know who the person is, all those kind of things. Yep. So especially on the bills, because it's like, even when you go in to vote, right, they give you like a paragraph description, but that's not sufficient to understand what you're voting for.
Yeah, because sometimes they'll put it like in some legalese garbage. And you're like, what? And they'll put it in ways kind of like, huh?
Yeah.
So, yeah, you got to research it. And Bill O'Reilly had a really good explanation of it. He's like, this stuff he basically, if you support this bill, I don't even want to talk to you.
Right.
This is some Red China type of stuff.
O'Reilly used to be on Fox, not anymore, right?
Yeah, I think he does his own
thing
now. Yeah.
No, he's good because I listened to a podcast. He was on Valuetainment, one that I listened to, and I really appreciate. I didn't used to not like him, but it just was more of his personality and his demeanor.
Here's my thing. If
he's a legit guy,
if you're on the fence of an abortion, go research what an abortion procedure is.
Oh,
it's disgusting. Yeah. And then make your choice after that.
I feel like a lot of people do actually need to be informed on the actual procedure of like a partial birth abortion. It's barbaric.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, one time, again, I believe I'm against it, and I believe in life. I'm pro-life. But I remember it was a while back. I mean, I literally dove down the rabbit hole of what does this look like? And them take, just body parts, toss them in a bag. I mean, just it's horrible.
It is.
Well, here's the thing. The barbarians of the Dark Ages would not do this to their own people. I don't even think they would do this to their enemies. I mean, this is beyond lower than the Dark Ages type of barbarians, what they're doing.
Yeah.
Except the barbarians are wearing white coats.
Right. Yeah. There you go. But you know what? Trying to lighten this up just a little bit. If we leave the show today and we go to McDonald's, maybe Trump might be there serving French fries.
He's shaking them up.
Oh, did you guys see this on Sunday? Trump's working at McDonald's.
I saw part of it.
Yeah. I watched, and again, I tried to pull up the articles. My wife and I on Sunday, we watched a bunch of the different videos and those kind of things. I watched the full 20-minute video. I don't know who it was through. It was on YouTube. But again, I tried to just pull that up. And again, I'm getting NBC, Washington Post. They're just, this is so horrible. How dare he do this? But Trump goes into a McDonald's. Well, their big thing now is like McDonald's is trying to distance themselves from Donald Trump. Like they didn't approve. Like it's garbage. Don't even YouTube it. Maybe just don't. It's horrible. Again, these stupid.
I think he's clowning on
news
Kamala.
outlets. Yeah, and he was.
He
did. When he walked in, he's talking to the franchisee or whatever. He's like, "Well, Kamala said she used to work here, but we never figured that out for sure. So I'm here to work." So here's the thing for Trump: like watching the full. I watched the full video, not just clips. I did watch clips. I watched the full video that they had available.
Mm-hmm.
Trump is like a good I wish he'd be more like that more of the time.
Right.
Because when he's talking with people individually, he's super nice guy.
Yep.
You could tell, like, if you hung with him, like he's a billionaire. He's a silver spoon. He can't relate to us, and he knows where we're really at. He's always been rich. But what we can say is he has an ability to connect with people on a very human, lower level. He's the dude that can walk into a coffee shop, Denny. He could walk. You could go to Denny's with him and feel totally natural.
Yep.
They pulled people that went to the drive-through. They were pulling them after they got done getting the order, and the top 2 responses were, 1, I finally got my order right at McDonald's, and 2, the ice cream machine was working.
Oh,
that was a joke. Sorry, that was a joke.
Yeah, but he just has, in some of the podcasts he's been on lately, dude. He's been for the last few months now been terrorizing the podcasting. A lot of these podcasts I've dove into him. It's like, man, he's so good in that environment. He's kind of lower key. He's not just like being a crazy psycho, like calling people names the whole time. Mm-hmm. And it's like, why? I wish he'd present a little bit more of that side of him here and there.
He's been hitting it hard, man. I mean, that dude's got more energy than some 25-year-olds out there, man.
Yeah.
Yes.
I thought is great. And I think the Dems are, you'd have to tell me, Greg Walton, but I think that the Democratic Party is scrambling because here's what I look at. I read like Fox, but I also read liberal media, and they give these indicators of when things are not going well. And one indicator is Kamala, who has not been doing all these podcasts. Have you noticed the last week or two? Now she's trying to get on all these podcasts. She's trying to get on, to connect with people because they realize like everyone thinks she's fake. She has no message. Yeah. She has like 5 sentences that she just says over and over again. No, we don't even know what she's really saying.
Exactly.
Word salad. We don't even know what she believes. And I know that's coming from a born-again Christian man, but like people are starting to like see this. So now she's scrambling like, oh, I better go on Fox. She went on Fox. Right? That shows that she's like trying to reach out. I don't know if it's going to happen or not. Supposedly, according to articles, she's trying to get on Rogan, right?
Really?
Rogan will tear her a new one.
Yeah. I don't know though. Like what I feel about that. Like if she goes on Rogan, I feel if she actually made it on Rogan, the one who'd compromise would be Rogan. Well, I hate to say that, but I feel like somehow there'd be something backdoor thing like, Joe, like you can't go that hard on her.
You think he'd get her to smoke?
Well, I think the Fox News debate doomed her. I mean, she did. I mean, it was so horrible. I mean, they basically said that her staffers like, get her off there. She was, Trump,
she's never been questioned.
Well, she's never had anybody actually, and Brett Baer probably wasn't the hardest interviewer that could have interviewed her. He was, I mean, he at least somebody tried to at least somewhat try to do their job, and she just imploded. She was angry. She didn't want to be there. She was 15 minutes late. They were supposed to do it for an hour. I think they only got like 15 minutes because she was late, and then then after she had a disaster, her staff was like, get her off there.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. She just doesn't have anything of substance. It's either she doesn't want to take responsibility for what she did for her actions during her administration. Blame Trump, and like, you can blame Trump all you want. We want to hear from you.
Yeah,
we'll ask Trump the questions. If Trump comes on here, we'll ask Trump the questions. But right now, we're not worried about what Trump. We're worried about you. Mm-hmm. Answer what you want. You're not telling anybody anything.
Interesting. I think it's neck and neck. As of this moment, as a prognosticator of that, what's going to go down, I think it's neck and neck. I don't think we're going to. I like to stay up and watch the election nights. I've always done that. I don't think we're going to find out election night who won.
Well, it's going to be like it was the last how many elections. Somebody's going to win, and there's going to be court challenges, and you may have to wait 3 to 4 weeks to find out who actually won based on the court challenges. That's depending on if it's really tight. Trump, if enough. Now the question here's the big question: if the church will get out and vote, which they unfortunately in the last several 20 years they have not really had a good turnout, like maybe 23% of churchgoers actually trying to vote, and not all those 23% of people that turn out to vote are voting Republicans. You got a good chunk of them that are voting Democrat. And so, that we really, the Christian body really needs to be stepping up. Now, obviously not, again, I know probably people do have concerns of Trump, but if you don't vote, you're voting for Kamala Harris.
Right.
If you don't vote, you're voting for Kamala Harris. That means you're voting by your absence. You're voting by your silence, and your vote is your seal of approval. There's my spiel.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be fascinating. I think it's going to be very fascinating. I don't think anyone's got it in the bag. That's my prediction right now. And again, you can tell by the projection of the media, the articles that they're writing. I mean, just something as simple as Trump going to McDonald's. I mean, every liberal media outlet is trying to like rail against that.
Yeah,
like,
they're saying, "Oh, he's doing a photo op."
It's a photo op.
Everybody does
It,
photo
and it,
ops.
it, You know what's funny? It is like, again, I'm a realist, man. Like if you watch, I watched the whole thing, and guess what? Car 1 pulls up. It was like an Indian couple. Oh, Donald Trump, God bless you. We love you so much. Then it was like a white woman. Then it was like a black family, right? We know this is of course it's a setup, right? Yeah. It's a political thing. Democrats would do it. Republicans would do it, right? It was, but
well, ever since the camera was invented, politicians were getting photo ops. I don't care what party it is.
Yeah,
it's just part of politics.
It was the state fair, like our podcast. It was the governor going to the state fair eating a corn dog moment, right? It's like politicians do this, and I do appreciate it. Oh, we got to move. But the segue or the connector point I want to make to it is the idea of service for us as Christians. I talked about this Sunday night at church, but that's what I love about Jesus. That part of the reason I'm a follower of Christ is because I serve a God who is not arrogant, prideful, and he lowered himself and became a servant for me. Yeah. And that's what makes that is the dichotomy that is absolutely amazing about our God and about our Savior Jesus, is that he's a servant. I mean, he's a French fry guy. I mean, he's the guy who came so low to give us everything. And that's the life we're called to live as men of God, as Christians, as followers of Christ. We are supposed to be servants, Yes. And so when I saw like Donald Trump, like, oh, look at him going to be the serving the French fries, he was trying to project, look at me, I'm serving people, and it was good. It was a good moment for him, viral moment for him. But I looked at that and was like, as Christians, we're supposed to be servants. That's our whole thing, man. Like that's our whole identity. That's our identity.
Yeah. Yep.
Is we're supposed to be servants, and we live in a world where sometimes Christianity seems like it's focused on brand building and marketing and getting bigger and all the, in my world of being a pastor and a preacher, it's like, no, the goal is just to be a servant.
Yep.
Right? The focus is it shouldn't be on me. It should be on Jesus.
Yep.
Yeah. And just a few verses, and we'll talk through a little bit more, but 1 John 3:18, I'll just read off a few. Dear children, let us not love with words or speech, but with actions and in truth. Acts chapter 20, verse 35, and everything I did, I showed you. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I lost it now. Ephesians 4:12, to equip his people for works of service, so the body of Christ may be built up. You, my brothers and sisters, were called to be free, but do not misuse your freedom to indulge the flesh. Rather, serve one another humbly in love. Luke 6:38, give and it will be given to you. A good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over will be poured into your lap. For with the measure you use, it will be measured to you. Jesus, Mark 9:35, sitting down, Jesus called the 12 and said, anyone who wants to be first must be the very last and the servant of all. Matthew 20:28, just as the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve and to give his life as a ransom. So the gospel and the life of Christianity is supposed to be about serving people.
Yep. Which is completely backwards of how we naturally we want things. And so it's just kind of crazy how Jesus is completely backwards. Our natural wants are to have stuff instead of serving people.
Yeah, I just think about, like, I was telling you at lunch, I was watching this, Niles actually showed us in Sunday school, was talking about the world, how the system of the world, but there's this North Korean lady that was in North Korea. She was a Christian. Like, the authorities caught her with the Bible. Mm-hmm. So they burned the Bible in front of her, and they basically threw her in prison. Pretty much all along with her family, because in North Korea, when one person commits a crime, your entire family is charged with that crime.
Dang.
And they all go bye-bye.
Wow.
So either you go bye-bye in jail, or you go bye-bye being executed, one of the two. Depends on what the mood of the authorities are at the time to catch you. So she was in jail. I don't know how long she was in prison for, in the Korean prison, but she managed to escape, and she actually got over into China. So she got into China. She found some Christian people who were over in China. They gave her food, medicine, kind of nurtured her back to health because she was pretty, rough shape, malnourished and all that stuff. And they gave her a new Bible.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's thinking, I can be free. Like all she had to do is go to Mongolia or get down to Thailand, and then they fly her off to South Korea, and she'd have a life of freedom. She wouldn't have to worry about ever being in that system ever again. But she's like, I can't go that way. I have to go back. I have to go back to North Korea because my family, my fellow countrymen, and my church needs me there to go spread the gospel because they need the gospel in North Korea. So she went back, and so don't know whatever happened to her, but that was pretty well that going with the service. Like her desire to serve others was greater than her own desire to be free.
Be served. Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's giving your life, like your whole life. Like it's an all-in lifestyle.
Yeah. And
I'm trying to do it. I just encourage you guys to do it in whatever way you can, in the little things, in the big things. Just be a servant, man. That's it's I'm going to lose my blessing, but it's like we had a guy in our church, he got ran over by a car on his bicycle, but he's normally the trash guy. So like I had to take, hour or so a day to clean up and take out trash at the church. Like that's not a big deal. Like I'm the pastor. Like I'm not supposed to be taking out trash. Like no, just serve the church, serve people. It's what we should do. We should never look at anything too low.
That's right.
Yep, never think you're above serving. I mean, I've been in manager positions before, and I've got down and dirty with my guys, even though I could have sat at my desk and told them go do this, go do that, point the finger. But no, I get down and dirty with my folks. I'm down there. I'm down crawling under the carpet, running, making cables along with the rest of them.
And I think we got to figure out how to, in this world of chaos, of division, of a very divisive world, to just how to love and serve people. Again, I'm not the protester guy. I know some people, it's fine. But you know what I mean? It's like even with like the No on 3 in Missouri, it can get real ugly real fast with people, when you start having these discussions. And it's like, I want to be able to stand on my beliefs and be bold and unashamed. Yeah. But at the same time, know that probably one way I could break into those people's lives is ask the question, how could I love and serve that person?
Yep.
That person that is like anti-life, that's pro-abortion. God, give me wisdom to love them and to serve them in such a way that they're like, no, that's the way.
Yeah, and
Jesus' way is the way.
And I pray for them was like that one of our Sunday school kids that went to pray with us was putting a sign back up front, and I guess a 20-year-old, so you think that male was like 23, gave her the finger, and I was talking, and she's like, well, I just played the reverse card. I'm like, no, that's not Christian. Right. I said that you pray for the Bible says pray for those that persecute you.
Yep.
You should pray for that young man, and we prayed for that young man in the classrooms. That's all about us. Pray for that young man. He come to find Jesus and everything, because he needs Jesus too. I said Jesus loves that person just as much as he loves you.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And so the heart of Christ is to have love for all, even though that people hate you. I said you go out there. I said when you leave those doors, you're not going into a friendly world, man. You're going to a world that hates you. The Bible says it. The world will hate you because it hated me first.
Yep.
And so you're going out into the hostile world, man.
Well, let's love and serve people and go get some French fries at McDonald's. Yeah. Donald Trump might be there. What? I didn't hear that, Joe. Guys, thanks for listening to the Christian Men's Illustrated podcast. Share it with someone. Talk to you guys next time.